All right, guys, whether your business is just getting started like the MLB season or in full swing like the NBA, a virtual business phone will kick things into playoff mode. Connecting with customers is the most important part of growing a business, and a virtual business number helps you do that safely and conveniently. Here's what you're going to get with Mighty Call. You get to keep your personal phone numbers private. You stop robocalls. You get free and unlimited extensions. You centralize every aspect of your customer communications in one place. Constant communication and client outreach is crucial to your business success and leads to W, guys. There's a reason the Rockets are down 0-2. They keep complaining about the refs and not focusing on what's important.
They need a virtual phone system.
They do. Head over to mightycall.com and see how a virtual business number can help your company out today. And tell them we sent you by using the promo code BIGPLAY for 50% off your first 3 months.
Mightycall.com. We got a great show. We got another Rams legend joining us tonight. We were on a Rams kick. Wow. Jay, you ready? Big Play Beats, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah, Jay Bird. Welcome to the Big Play Podcast. Today is Wednesday, May 1st. Welcome to May.
It's gonna be May
2019. I am your host, Big Play Dave, alongside my main man from the top ropes, the Big Play Jay.
Dave Beck, what's happening, brother?
I'm doing well. We made it to May.
We did, yeah.
Big Play Beats. Hello, sir.
What's going on, guys?
I even had your microphone on.
You didn't silence me?
Wow.
Hey, he's not
He's
mad
in
at
the
me
war
anymore.
room still. Look at him.
I think
He's
it's because
going
I said
post-draft.
I think it's because I said he was my favorite host tonight.
Oh, that's true.
I kept him
we'll
in the
talk
war
about
room.
that later.
Yeah.
He's off the Christmas card list. Honey, take him off.
That's right. That's right. Jay, we have a fantastic show tonight.
The rumor is, yeah.
Fantastic show. So tonight on the Big Play Podcast, we will be getting into our 2-minute drill. Fastest 2 minutes in sports, going over all of those headlines that you missed. And then our interview, Marc Bulger, 8:45, Rams great. Looking forward to catching up with him. We will get into Hell No, Hell Yeah.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
And then another interview with John Willkom. Got a really cool book. His experiences and it was a walk-on.
Yeah. Marquette worked with Rick Majerus. He's got an interesting story.
So, looking forward to talking with him. Then we'll get into the Fringe Binge and maybe a little after hours, maybe some impersonations, some impressions from Mr. Jay Bird. But before we get into any of that, as we do every week on the Big Play Podcast, it is time for the secret ingredient fueling today's show.
Today's secret ingredient is
scallop, mushroom, pizza dough, hamburger.
Today's secret ingredient is
Ooh, Davy Mack, a new brewery. We've never tried these guys on air before, but this is by Seventh Son Brewery in Columbus. This is assistant manager, American Golden Ale.
Oh, this is a Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah,
beer.
not to state the obvious, but this guy's never going to rise above assistant manager if he's drinking on the job.
Assistant
right?
to the regional manager.
He is, yeah. This is the official beer of Dwight Schrute.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah, no, this is delicious. It's 4.5%, a little lighter for an American ale, which I like.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice golden finish, kind of crisp at the end. Love it.
Why do you think they went with a cat?
I don't know. I like it.
I feel
though.
like
What's
it's
he
a
holding there?
valid question.
I don't know what he's holding there. But
Mike,
either way,
any idea on the cat origin?
I thought it had something to do with BoJack Horseman. One of the characters is a cat. It looks kind of similar, but I don't think it is. It's
Okay.
kind of, but
Hey, that was a pretty good
Yeah, I feel like he pulled that from his
Guesstimate?
ass
Yeah.
right there.
No, you ever watched BoJack Horseman?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
It's actually very good.
I don't know what.
Really? You guys don't know it?
Moving on.
What can you do? So, Jaybird, it is time for the fastest 2 minutes in sports. I will kick it off. The hits keep coming for the Yankees, and so do the strains, tears, and breaks, as the Bronx Bombers added one more member to their injured list, upstarting outfielder Clint Frazier.
You better call up Paul O'Neill here pretty soon.
One day after Johnson County District Attorney Stephen Howe announced charges would not be filed against Tyreek Hill, audio recording comes out alleging that Hill did harm his son, causing the Chiefs to bar him from the facility, probably going on that exempt list.
Yeah, sad situation. We'll get into it here soon.
In a very sad story, to keep it real upbeat here, defensive back Dwayne Simmons was killed in that shooting Sunday morning after the draft, while Washburn University star Corey Ballantyne, who was drafted by the Giants, was shot and wounded.
Very sorry to hear this.
Yeah, big time. Two huge retirements. Let's bring it on back here from the NFL. After 19 seasons at the ripe, young age of 41, legendary kicker Sebastian Janikowski announces his retirement. 1,913 points, rank him 10th all time.
Kick retirements, Seabass.
That's right. And Jamal Charles signs a one-day contract, retires with the Chiefs, four-time Pro Bowler, 75-63 rushing yards.
Best Madden running back of all time, Dave.
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Cubs closer Pedro Strop stole a save against the Dodgers on Wednesday, the same day that someone stole his car. Despite the instance of auto theft, Strop was able to shake off the disruption, and save the game in a 7-6 win.
Better call State Farm, free plug.
One of the greatest basketball players of all time, John Havlicek, died at the age of 79. The 8-time champ had been suffering from Parkinson's disease.
I bet Rod Auerbach is waiting with a cigar at the pearly gates.
No doubt. According to Dana White, Brock Lesnar is now retired from MMA.
Rumor is Dana White said no finishers are allowed. Brock didn't have any go-to moves to go with in the UFC.
Love it. NBA playoff updates. Bucks and Celtics are tied at 1-1. Raptors and 76ers also tied 1-1. We've got game 2 tomorrow night. In the West, Warriors versus Rockets. We've got the Warriors up 2-0. And in the other series, Nuggets Blazers. Nuggets are up 1-0. That game 2 starts here very shortly.
There we go. And that was the 2-minute drill.
Woo! A little
Not
behind,
too
but that's
bad,
okay.
yeah.
A lot to get through there.
I
man.
added one in.
I like that. I love that. So, Dave, you had some, and a lot of people did, of course, had some very strong words on Twitter regarding Tyreek Hill. What do you think the rightful punishment is for him at this point?
So, I mean, he's going on the exempt list any day now.
Yeah.
And, listen, there's plenty of bad guys in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Okay? Everyone knows that. Okay? But kids are off limits.
Yes. Yeah.
There hasn't been a whole lot of kids, since Adrian Peterson with that switch.
Yeah.
Switch?
Was
it a switch? Yeah.
Switch,
yeah. I don't think he makes it back in the league.
Good.
I don't think Tyreek Hill will be back in the league. I don't think – you remember Ray Rice?
Yeah.
They kind of made an example out of him,
right.
But then they kind of, almost let him back in the league. He was older, didn't quite work out all that well. I don't think they're going to give any chance for Tyreek Hill to get back in the league. I think Roger Goodell needs to put his foot down, put the league on notice. Kids, you can't do this.
Right.
There's absolutely no way.
I agree, Dave.
So,
yeah, 100%.
I don't think he ever comes back.
When does this end? If this isn't the situation where the league and a team put their foot down on somebody, I don't know what is. Does someone need to die? I mean, seriously.
Sure, yeah. That's fair.
I'm enraged, but I don't want to get into it too much. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
man.
if I'm doing a bold prediction on a pretty shitty topic, I am going to say he will not be in the league.
Great.
Ever.
Yeah. Fair. Absolutely.
Jay, let's talk a little NBA playoffs.
Let's do it. We're talking basketball.
That's right. So you quickly ran through those couple of games. Who do you think is advancing from the East and West?
Well, let's start in the East. This has been an interesting series. It's kind of a who showed up this game series, and that's the Celtics and Bucks here. I'm taking the Celtics in 7. I think this is going to go the distance.
Yeah?
It's been a little sloppy. So the average margin of victory so far is 21.5, which you wouldn't expect. Right. But, there's a lot of chatter how Boston has put everything aside. right? They're in good common ground and everything.
Well, they kind of shut down Giannis game 1.
Right. That's a lot of hyperbole. Then you only score 48 points in the half last night. So that's kind of a problem. 18 points in the third. But, they've got veteran players like Al Horford that are making a difference defensively. Kyrie, of course, now maybe will be the guy that he's talked about all year as the veteran.
Yep.
So we'll see. But that's going to be interesting. Giannis is going to get his. It'll go 7.
Okay.
On the other side, I still have, we talked about this long ago. I think the Raptors win this series. I think it's Raptors in 7.
I'm with you.
Because this is the hardest one to predict, really. There's a lot of factors. Mainly everyone on Philly has to shoot well when the ball is in Ben Simmons' hands, because Simmons is not a shooter. Kind of a problem.
Not so much.
It'll go downhill, and he's got to look to finish and kick it out. So these guys got to finish, essentially, guys like Redick and other folks out there. So
are they not as good as we thought?
No. Well, I don't think they've ever truly meshed, for one.
Yeah, but you remember, trust the process, and, everything came together, and they were supposed to be, the next super team in the East. And
yeah.
Seems like, I don't know.
We could have said that about the Celtics before the beginning of the year, too, right? And then they fell apart. But now they're together, Dave.
Meshing.
Yeah, exactly. In the West, man, Warriors in 5. I think Houston gets 1 here at some point. Harden had the eye injury, apparently, and it looks like he'll be okay to go.
Sure.
Now at least the chatter's over about the referees. Draymond Green was the voice of reason on this, which is kind of funny. But ultimately, I think these 2 games have brought the Warriors back in the good graces of the public, if you will, their opinion of them and the media, and that, yes, they're a team that, by proxy of what they've done, can be apathetic. But God, when it's great, it's great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then on the other side, I've got the Nuggets in 6. Lillard had 39 points in game 1, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
That's an issue. When you're talking about Enes Kanter's impact on a series, that's a problem. Right?
Yeah.
So they have no answer for Jokic here. Nuggets D is smothering right now. They forced 18 turnovers in game 1, 6 of them on Lillard. So
it's not good.
It's fun, man, but yeah.
This is if you haven't watched the NBA playoffs, this is the series to start.
Yeah, I agree.
This round of the playoffs, good matchups.
I agree.
Good matchups.
Dave, let's bring in a legend. I'm looking forward to talking to this guy. He played 11 years in the NFL, primarily with the St. Louis Rams. He was a 2-time Pro Bowler. Find him on Twitter at Marc Bulger 10. Marc Bulger making his way into the Big Play podcast. How you doing tonight, Mark?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. So last weekend, of course, we know a lot of young men's lives were changed. Your experience in the draft, you came out, you're a 6th rounder out of West Virginia. Tell us about that week for you leading up and that weekend. What was your draft experience like?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I live in Nashville now, so holy cow, that was
right
this past weekend. But, no, it's funny. From the combine on, they pair you with people alphabetically. And the year I came out, I was paired with a guy. And we couldn't understand how these other guys were going to get drafted ahead of us. We both were mediocre at the combine, which I really don't believe in the combine. I think it's more job interviews for the coaches, but that's beyond the point.
That's fair.
But we both come out, we get drafted in the same round, and he went on to win 5 Super Bowls, Brady, but I did okay. And but no, we were partners at the combine, and it was just a crazy experience. We both thought we were going to maybe go first day, and we had to sit. This was when it was Saturday, Sunday, instead of Thursday to Saturday, how it is nowadays.
Right, absolutely. So you found yourself at the Saints, weren't there that long, and then all of a sudden ended up on the Falcons practice squad. Didn't spend a great deal of time there, and then all of a sudden you're with the Rams, and you're sitting behind a guy named Kurt Warner, who I'm sure had a great effect on your career. Tell us about what it was like to be in the QB room with him and learn from the great Kurt Warner.
Yeah, it was cool. The first year I pretty much sat at home in Pittsburgh and had no job. And Coach Mike Martz, he's a big influence on Kurt Warner too. And I just tried to be a sponge with Kurt that first year. I just was 3rd string and just watched how he prepared. And Coach Martz was really, really tough on quarterbacks, and especially his second and third string guys.
Yeah, right.
But I watched Kurt, and then, unfortunately he broke a finger, and then the backup, Jamie Martin, hurt his knee, and I got my chance, and I was ready just because I had watched how Kurt prepared for that first year. And in the NFL, you only might get one chance, and I just knew I had to be ready, just like Kurt was when he had the chance when Trent Green hurt his knee.
So Mark, when you finally did get that chance, how many games did you win in a row? Was it 6?
I think
I think it was
8. Yeah.
I like you went higher.
I know I was the first, the 10,000 yard or the fastest, and first, and the fastest to 1,000 yards. But obviously that goes to Coach Martz. He was so great. But learning from Kurt Warner, Coach Martz, my first start ever, we were 0-5 coming off the Super Bowl. And the Raiders we were playing were 6-0. My first series ever, I was on the 2-yard line coming out.
Wow.
So I said, "Oh boy!" And I get in the huddle, and I got Marshall Faulk, Orlando Pace, I got Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, everyone looking at me. And I said, "All right, I had Isaac Bruce on my fantasy team last year. Well, Pittsburgh, and now I'm in the huddle with him on the 2-yard line."
Right.
But no, we went right down. I threw my first touchdown pass. We won that game, and we went. We rattled off 7-8 straight in a row, and the rest is that. But again, Kurt Warner and Mike Martz were really influential to me.
Yeah, so you mentioned a guy we've become familiar with here, Isaac Bruce, Mark. We had him on a few weeks ago. This guy obviously has the numbers. He has the pedigree to be in the Hall of Fame. Can you think of one good reason this guy is not in the Hall of Fame yet?
I think his humility. He worked harder than anyone in the whole building. The guy's humble. He works hard. He's a great guy, and the fact that he's not in is beyond me. But I know one day he'll get in, and I know he wants it. But,
yeah.
He's the best, one of the best competitors I've ever been around.
Absolutely. So 2003 was the year, of course, your Pro Bowl year. You guys suffered that devastating loss, a double OT thriller, still one of the best playoff games ever in the divisional round against the Panthers. Reflect back on that game. That was such a magical season for you guys. What was it like losing in that fashion? And what do you, when you reflect back, what do you remember from that game?
Yeah, that one stung. I know they went down, and Leonard Little, I think it was a shovel pass or a pitch. We could have taken it for an early 7, but somehow they recovered a fumble and got a touchdown. I said, "Oh, this is good." And then Steve Smith had a late game. We missed a field goal in the first overtime. I'm over it, but that one stung.
Absolutely.
Because I know that was probably the best team I've ever been on.
Sure. Yeah, but you were a part of a great team with some great players, kind of the end of that greatest show on turf era. But you still played with guys like Steven Jackson, Torrey Holt. We mentioned, of course, the great Isaac Bruce. Talk about the greatness of the Rams franchise during that time, Mark, and some of the players you got the opportunity to play with.
Yeah, in the early 2000s, it was honestly like coming from a college to a college. And then in the late 2000s, we had ownership change, and there were some things going on, but it just made me realize that the teams that are successful have continuity, and in the NFL at least, and everyone hung out together. There was no cliques, and that's the way we were. I mean, between defense, offense, O-line, D-line, it was just Grant Wistroms and Dre Bly's and Dexter McLeon's. I mean, everyone hung out, and we went in as a team. And then when you're not playing so well, I saw it when we weren't playing well, that you get divisions, and that's not going to work in the NFL. And I think that's why the Steelers, the Patriots, and these, the Packers and different organizations like that, they can keep that continuity, which is so important.
Right, absolutely. So a team that's become quite the franchise as of recent is your former team, the Rams, of course. We're all aware of how the season ended, that infamous no call, and then, of course, the comeback there by the Patriots. But, certainly everyone thinks that the future's bright there with Sean McVay. Just talk about his coaching and what you think of the current Rams squad, Mark?
It's exciting. I was a Ram for 10 years, so that's when my kids were born in St. Louis. I know they're LA now, but I'm a Jersey guy. I'm a logo guy, so I'm a Ram for life. But what he's done is amazing. It's a new era. I'm getting older. I'm in my early 40s now, and I think he can relate to the younger players a lot better. And the guys I know that have played for him so far have said he actually listens. A lot of the quote unquote older coaches, they say they're going to listen, but they don't. But he actually takes their advice and runs with it. And I think the guys appreciate that. And if you have guys in the NFL, because everyone's athletic ability is pretty much the same, if they are going to play for their head coach, that means a ton. And I think that's what he has. And I'm excited. I think we'll get a ring here in the next couple of years.
That was my next question. Super Bowl next year?
I'm not going to make any predictions, but I'm telling you what, they've built a pretty good foundation. And I mean, you look at that D line and you look at what they've built. It was long-term thinking, and it's starting to pay off, it's pretty exciting if you're a Los Angeles Rams fan.
Yeah, you look at the NFL now. Obviously that the recent rule change regarding pass interference has come under some fire. Depending on kind of who you are lately, what are your thoughts on that rule change and just the NFL nowadays with quarterbacks?
No, it's obviously I'd love to be playing right now.
How many yards would you have a year? Would you have 5,000, 6,000 yards?
Imagine Dan Marino or Joe Montana right now. But you look back. I even the 2001, 2002 when we played the Patriots in the first Super Bowl. I obviously had to watch the film, and they literally were tackling Isaac and Torrey the whole game, and there was no calls. Nowadays, those guys would kill it. So, but it is what it is. It's good for the game. It keeps it exciting. I think the bigger, I play with a guy, Jerry Porter. He's a second-round pick, the Oakland Raiders at West Virginia. He's, I think, the prototypical receiver. Now, they're just big guys that can get the yak. When they get the ball, they're going. And so I think teams need to start getting corners that can tackle, because the receivers are only going to get bigger, stronger, and faster.
Yeah, circling back to the NFL draft real quick. Obviously, down in Nashville, kind of a party area for the NFL draft. And you look at some of these quarterbacks that came out. Do you have any favorites in this quarterback class? People were saying Daniel Jones a little bit of a reach. You look at all these guys. What any favorites out of this class? Well,
I'm biased. My favorite's Will Greer. He went to Carolina, so
okay,
because he's a West Virginia, guy. So I'm just, I just think that as long as guys are willing to learn and be a sponge, and I think it's really difficult if you go somewhere that doesn't have a good supporting cast when you're young. So I actually think it's good for like a Will Greer to go and learn behind a Cam Newton, or someone to go learn behind a Ben Roethlisberger, because to come from college to the NFL, it's a different deal. I mean, these guys, this is their livelihoods, this is their salaries, and their kids depend on it. So you better have your stuff together. And I just think that was a problem in the NFL, 10 years ago, when you're giving someone 50, 60 million and throwing them right into the fire, and they don't know what they're doing. So just as long as the guys know, hey, you're not in college anymore. this is the big leagues.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious, Mark, what you think about this. You mentioned development. We had another former Mountaineer, Oliver Luck, on recently. Talked about the XFL and the league that's going to be dropping here in 2020. We obviously know the AAF was a flop, and that unfortunately did not happen. Do you think there's a place for a successful secondary football league in the spring or fall? What do you think about that?
I do. I was on the outskirts of another league briefly, MLF, for a little while, and that kind of flopped. It's just, I think they need it. It's just, I think the NFL would have to get behind it. I think they pretty much have everything contained, and you know, I mean, you have it in NCAA football, so they really don't need the developmental. It's just, you know, you can't have these guys playing 12 years or 12 months a year because your body needs rest. And I think for too long, you can't train a guy to play football 12 months a year. But, you know, the NFL's product is so good. I think it would be too tough to compete in the spring versus the NFL. It's just simple as that, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you're still competing at a very high level as a curler. Tell how the heck did you get into curling?
Oh, jeez. Okay. You know, Jared Allen, he played for Minnesota and Kansas City.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Sure.
Probably a Hall of Famer. And Mike Roos and Keith Bullock, you know, possible Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So that's our team here in Nashville. We,
No
Jared
way!
wanted to be an Olympian. And I said, okay, let's be an Olympian. And he said, badminton. So I watched badminton for a week. I called Jared back and said, there's no way in heck we can do badminton. These guys are too quick, too small, and too fast. I'm going to hurt myself. He goes, all right, give me a week. And so he calls me back a week later and says, hey, curling. I was like, all right. And so literally we got our team together, and we literally spent this whole winter at tournaments in Minnesota and Wisconsin, Vegas, Phoenix. I mean, we've been everywhere. We just had practice yesterday. We have practice tomorrow morning for 3.5 hours. We have an Olympic coach. Our skip was a 2010 Olympian. I mean, we're dead serious. It's harder than you think, but it's fun. But we'll see. We've already played against the Olympic team twice. So.
Have you really? No kidding. So this is this is as legit as it gets.
Schuster, yeah, the guy with the mustache. Everyone. Pretty much has an emoji now. Yeah. Oh, we know all those guys now.
That's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, so we know you're in your Nashville area now, Mark. You know, everyone kind of has their favorites. Give us your favorite Nashville chicken spot.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
They're all good. That's the problem.
Judge Beans. It's not. Judge Beans is pretty good. It's in Brentwood. It's a little bit south of town, but they got really good barbecue. There's Corky's, but this little place called Judge Beans. It's by my house. I love it. So.
Nice, Judge Beans. All right, Mark. Hey, we appreciate you taking some time with us tonight. Guys, follow him out there on Twitter. Check out his curling, too, as well.
Yes.
At Marc Bulger 10. Mark, appreciate you taking some time with us tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Anytime. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That was Marc Bulger. Right. Great stuff from him. A little loud on the applause
Well,
there.
people love him. What the heck? That could have been football fans. That could have been curling.
Sorry, Mark, if I killed your ears there
Wow,
as you
he's
left.
like, yeah, now I can no longer do an interview.
Well, that is a loud live audience they got there at BigPlay.com.
I love his story about curling.
Oh,
Could you imagine him and Jared Allen are just trying to make the Olympics?
That was a star-studded cast he had on there. I didn't see that coming.
Wow, they're the Monstars of curling now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Except everyone likes them.
Yeah, that's fair. Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and Newman doesn't play against him.
Very true.
Anyways,
Very
yeah.
true.
Dave, it's time for your favorite segment.
What's that?
And that's Hell No, Hell Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Side note, I love the fact he didn't go with one of the notable chicken places. He gave us an obscure one.
Yeah, he went off the cusp.
There's,
I like
Prince's
that.
and Hattie B's are the big names there. No big deal. And KFC, too, if
You
you've
know
ever heard
what?
of
He's a
them.
curler. He's not going mainstream.
Very civilized.
He knows what he's doing.
Well, Dave, the 2019 NFL Draft is in the books. Let's evaluate some of the notable picks and teams' moves. Let's give him a hell no, hell yeah, a little rapid fire style.
All right.
Are you ready, my friend?
I was born ready.
Dave, hell no, hell yeah. Kyler Murray was a no doubt number 1 pick.
No, what do you mean by no doubt?
No doubt.
No doubt it was going to be
Gwen
picked
Stefani.
or deserving.
Deserving, let's say.
I thought you were going to go the other way.
You should just answered it that way.
All right, I am going to go with.
Give me a hell yeah.
Wow.
What?
I think so, and Marc Bulger kind of talked about it. This is a quarterback league now, and he talked about Dan Marino could throw 8,000 yards in this league. I think Kyler Murray fits with Cliff Kingsbury very, very well.
Right.
When Cliff Kingsbury was announced as the coach, put it out there, he's taking Kyler Murray, and everyone's like, "Oh no, he's not going to do
not
that."
gonna happen.
It happened.
It did.
It happened. I think he's a very good fit for that team. He fits the vision of Cliff Kingsbury's offense. They're not a good team yet, though.
No, they're not.
So I think he's going to statistically do pretty well. Mm-hmm. I don't think the team's going to do all that well.
Let me ask you a little bonus hell no, hell yeah. Hell no, hell yeah.
I'll answer this one quicker.
If the Cardinals were not the number 1 team, didn't have the number 1 pick, would Murray go number 1?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
I agree.
No, I really don't think so. I think this was Cliff Kingsbury doing his sales role in Arizona for a very long time.
So handsome.
So handsome. You can't say no to Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah. Here's a guy you can say no to. At least
Who's
the
that?
national media did. Dave, hell no, hell yeah. Daniel Jones was the reach of the draft.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
And this is not a knock on Daniel Jones because he's a college kid. He can't pick where he's getting drafted. This is a knock on Dave Gettleman. I think he's an idiot. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of stuff recently where I'm just like scratching my head. New York Giants fans are scratching their head. But going back to Daniel Jones, anytime you draft a guy with a sub 60 completion percentage,
It's a problem.
it's not a great thing, especially when you're talking top 10 pick.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to struggle, but Gettleman did mention he's going to sit him for a long time.
Up to 3
Up
years.
to 3 years. Man, I think Dave Gettleman might be the new Dan Snyder.
That was the problem was he compared him to Favre and Rodgers, but Favre was so much better than Eli at this point in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have to play quicker than that.
Yeah, so when you look at like a prototypical quarterback, arm strength is pretty important,
I've heard that, yeah.
right? I mean, you're a Steelers fan. You look at Mason Rudolph, not a great arm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Might not make it.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, above average to average arm.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I don't know.
Average.
We'll see how he does, but yeah, according to Gettleman, he'll be playing in 2023.
Do you think he looks like a Manning, right? I feel like he's secretly the 4th brother. Is he? Yeah, he is.
Archie snuck him in there.
Do you bonus question, Mike? Do you think the Mannings are lizard people?
I was going to bring him up when you said he was the
Do
fourth.
you think they are?
I don't.
How about we do a deep dive into that in the after hours?
Yes, people
Okay.
love when we go lizard people in the
Yeah,
after hours.
yeah,
So
let's
let's
go
do
to
that.
Because all of them foul in. They want to debunk rumors. Yeah,
That's true.
Anyway, Dave, hell no, hell yeah.
Yes.
On the other side of the spectrum, Dwayne Haskins is the perfect fit for the Redskins.
Wait for it. Oh.
Want me to do a manual one?
No, hold on. I'm just going to...
Just give us a good one. There you go.
I'm going to go with...
Give me a hell yeah. What?
New soundboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's 30 minutes from his house he grew up in.
Yeah.
So from a geographical standpoint, yes, he's a perfect fit. You got McCoy, you've got Case Keenum, who I love. You know that.
Sure.
I think those are two veterans that he's going to learn from. So yeah, I think it's a good fit, and I think they had a really good draft.
Yeah. And he gets to sit behind McCoy and Keenum. It's a good fit. I like that.
I just said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I was just pointing out. I agree.
Thank you for the validation,
Yeah,
Jack.
you got it. Hell no, hell yeah, Dave. The New England Patriots had the best draft overall.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
So they did address all of their needs, except for tight end.
Yeah. not going to fill Gronk's shoes.
No.
Let's just say it.
You can't draft anyone who's going to replace Gronk. N'Keal Harry, he's going to make an impact right away. The biggest knock on him is separation. So he might struggle with that a little bit. But, I think Tom Brady and Bill Belichick will probably figure out a way to use him.
They can fit out windows to get him the ball.
I figure they'll be able to, figure that out. Williams helps in the secondary. Chase Winovich, good player. Mm-hmm. He's going to help with that pass rush. 4th round, they get Jared Sinham. He's great value. But I'm going back to the Redskins, man. You get Dwayne Haskins, you get Montez Sweat, you pick up Bryce Love, who's obviously injured. But you look at their rookie class, it's like almost a very star-studded team that could be good in like 2 to 3 years. So I'm going Redskins.
I hear you. And the other side of that, the New York Giants, hell no, hell yeah, Dave. The New York Giants had the worst draft overall.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
I feel like I'm going hard after Dave Kettleman tonight.
Just keep going.
I mean, it's tough to tell.
Yeah.
And I don't want to knock Daniel Jones. I mean, you can criticize them all you want, but I mean, they did address 3 of their 5 major needs: quarterback, inside linebacker, and cornerback.
Yep.
Really tough to criticize any of them. You got to wait a couple of years at least.
Yeah.
But I mean, going back to Gettleman, you lose OBJ for kind of an unknown linebacker in Jabril Peppers. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a tough sell to fans.
Right.
You trade, or you take Daniel Jones real early. Mock drafts, they are what they are, but
yeah,
a lot of people had him in the 2nd round.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
You probably could have had him at 17.
Yeah.
That's a tough sell
It
to
is.
Giants fans. So if I'm a Giants fan, I'm probably pissed, but got to roll with it. What are you going to do?
Nothing.
What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Jay, let's move on to another team. The Steelers traded up. A lot of people at the time thought this was going to be a quarterback. Don't agree with that, huh? Okay, interesting. They trade up to number 10. They take Devin Bush. Do you think that was a reach?
Oh, hell no.
Really?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
So there's a lot of smoke that the Bengals wanted him, for one.
And
There's
where
a
did the
division
Steelers
rival.
jump? 1 spot ahead of them.
They did. Look at that. What do you know?
Does that mean they're worried about the Bengals?
No one is. I think the Bengals should be worried about the Bengals.
That's very true.
Yeah. So Bush he's kind of like that modern run and chase linebacker, the guy who chases people down,
Yeah.
similar to a guy named Ryan Shazier.
Pretty
who
good. Pretty good.
unfortunately will not be playing. Maybe knock on wood someday, you'd hope, but it doesn't look like it.
He's jumping, though.
Yeah. The last time the Steelers did this was a guy named Troy Polamalu, which was a specific need that they had to fill at the time at safety, and they did just that.
It worked out pretty well.
I'd say it worked out pretty darn well. Yeah, especially if you're a fan of long flowing hair.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Raiders.
The Raiders.
So the Raiders had quite possibly the most head-scratchable first round under Mr. Gruden.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Jay Bird? Did you expect this from Gruden in the first round with all those picks?
Oh, hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
Actually,
What?
I talked to him, Dave. He said, yeah, Mayock told me we could get Farrell, number 1 pick there overall. I thought he was talking about Colin Farrell, man. He was pretty athletic in that movie, Miami Vice, so we took him.
Ooh, that's a good movie.
Turns out
What
it
about
wasn't him,
Phone
man.
Booth?
Phone Booth was, that was pretty bad. Lobster, did you see Lobster?
I've never even heard
Basically,
Never- is that
the
straight to
premise
DVD?
is if you don't find a suitor within a certain period of time, you turn into an animal. And he chose a lobster.
I feel like this is made up.
No, that's real.
Colin
That's real.
Farrell was in this movie called
called
Lobster.
Lobster,
Will you
yeah.
write this down? We have a packed after hours.
I was going to say, we have to
Yeah.
talk. Like, I want to just read the
About
synopsis
Lobster?
of it.
Yeah.
Whatever, off of, like, Rotten
Please
Tomatoes.
do. Yeah.
Very interesting.
But anyway, so Farrell's considered kind of a good at all things, great at none type guy,
Sure.
which at that pick in the draft, number 4, you kind of need a home run. Or
Sure.
at least someone you'd expect that someone's great. And then they took a running back with their second pick. That's not a position you typically get in the first round, but it is Gruden. You expected something crazy. This might even be crazy for him, to be honest with you, Dave.
Wow. All right, Jay, hell no, hell yeah. Let's go back to the draft. Nashville was the best draft location of all time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
First off, the weather was crappy the whole weekend.
Yeah.
They still had over 600,000 people show up.
Wow.
Man, on Broadway. That'd be great. It was the most watched and highest rated draft of all time.
Was it really? I didn't
Yeah.
see that. Wow.
Absolutely. So, yeah, Nashville was great, man. We were, of course, a little sour here because we thought maybe it'd be in the Canton, Cleveland area, and it still could in the coming years.
So we've
but
got Vegas next year.
Vegas next year.
Canton, Cleveland after?
There's smoke. Could happen. Could happen. I hope so. That'd be great.
That would be.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Miami Dolphins had the best draft. Hell no, hell yeah.
Hell no.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
It was not great.
Yeah.
Kind of in the middle. They feel needs a quarterback.
What'd you think of that?
You could argue that, you can make it legit. They're a top 5 team, I'd say, overall. That's a great value for Josh Rosen.
Top 5 in the draft.
Top 5 in the draft.
was like,
right.
whoa!
Oh, God, no. Jeez.
Let me take that secret ingredient from you.
Right, no, exactly. Exactly. So then, you flip a second rounder for him. That's great. This guy's going to play. They pick up a tackle guard. They need an offensive line help. Christian Wilkins, kind of an interesting pick.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Super smart guy.
I do
Talked
too.
about Clellan Farrell earlier.
Who, Cullen or Cullen?
Clellan?
I'm still confused, man.
Colin. Oh, we got to talk phone booth as well. Write that down too, Mike.
Okay, phone booth. Yeah, but he'll fit into Brian Flores' system really well.
I like it.
that. Yeah.
All right, let's keep it going. The Houston Texans had the worst draft.
No, hell no.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
Houston's a team that gave up 116 sacks last year, Dave.
That's a lot of
That's a
sacks.
problem. So they had to get offensive line help, and that's what they did right away. They picked up tackle Titus Howard, and then Max Sharping, too, as well in the second round. So they filled needs. I mean, you can't – if you're a fan of a team and they fill obvious holes and needs, you really can't – you can't walk away unsatisfied with what your team did.
No, you pick what you need. That makes sense.
Right. Then people go, well, don't you take the best athlete available? Well, so what? You take 2 receivers? But you know what? The Raiders had a great move.
What's
Dave,
that?
And they invited a friend of ours, Michael Traylor Bennett, to take part in camp. So, Michael, cheering for
Our
you,
buddy,
buddy.
yeah.
Hope he
Going to
does
mini
well.
camp. I saw his little jersey swaps on Twitter.
Yeah.
Look, he looks good in the Raiders Nation's color.
He does, yeah. When you make it big, Michael, don't forget us little people.
That's right.
That's all. Yeah.
BigPlay.com. Let's move on to our second featured interview of the night. We welcome in the walk-on warrior, Drive, Discipline, and the Will to Win. That is his book. The one and only Mr. John Willkom. Welcome to the Big Play podcast. How we doing, my man?
Bill.
Oh, sorry about that. I just heard you now. Quite the introduction. How's it going?
No, it's going great. Super excited to be on the show and looking forward to chatting with you guys.
Yeah, good. Hey, thanks for coming in, John. So let's get right into it. So you grew up a coach's son there in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Tell us about your love affair of basketball as a young man and how that changed your life path.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in a small town, roughly 18,000 people. Town is most famous for having the world's largest round barn. So when that's what puts you on the map, sports obviously isn't a huge thing. So growing up in that type of environment and having, like you said, just a love for basketball, I really just had to work my butt off to develop the skills I needed to play in college, and also just to get recognized to be able to have that opportunity. So I've been a diehard Marquette fan my whole life. My dad actually went to school there in the 70s, and so naturally, if I had my choice of schools coming out of high school, that's where I always dreamed of playing. So obviously getting an opportunity to walk on there and play for Coach Tom Crean was meant a lot more to me than maybe another school.
Yeah, so to talk about that, John, you didn't become a walk-on for Marquette and Tom Crean because of your superb skills, if you will. It was actually a letter that was a catalyst to you joining that team. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, so it wasn't any family connection or anything like that. I know there's a lot of walk-ons, especially with everything in the news about people getting into college for the wrong reasons.
Right.
My freshman year of college, I spent at a Division II school on a basketball scholarship in Minnesota.
Right.
Had a great season, played a lot, but just wasn't happy at school there. And so I decided to transfer to Marquette just as a student. And if I, would have an opportunity to participate even as a team manager, I just wanted to be around the game. I wanted to be around the team. And I ended up working summer basketball camps summer before my sophomore year, and was basically given 60 days to go home and get myself into shape and to come back and try out to make the team. And so, you go through some of the most brutal workouts of your life, even with all the prior things that you've done up to that point. But at the end of the day, it was all worth it. And really the things you take from that translate the rest of your life, whether it was in basketball or other things as a professional.
Sure. So you do get the spot as a walk-on, and you met a guy that would go on to shape your life and your career, Rick Majerus. Tell us about how the coach made an impact on your life early on in the college days.
Yeah, so I met Rick Majerus in such a strange way. I actually, I was working out at Marquette in the springtime, and he was just watching the workout as a bystander. And we both literally go into a restroom at the same time. There's probably 6 urinals lined up against the wall. And this guy basically positions himself right next to me. So, I'm kind of laughing and smiling, and there's these mirrors on both sides. And you look up, and all of a sudden the guy just drops his pants to the ground. And so, he's standing there, without basically any pants on, and then he basically just said, "Hey, you do a great job out there. Keep up the good work." And so that's how I actually met Rick Majerus.
What did you say? Did you just say thank you?
Yeah, I just kind of looked at him funny, because I had heard a lot about Majerus, and you obviously have heard stories about his time at Utah. Just my vision of the type of guy that he was that kind of quirky personality. And so to see it kind of come out in that first just impression of him was pretty funny.
Yeah, so your relationship with Majerus continued after college. Tell everyone about your first job after school that involved the coach.
So he hired me. I was working for a sports agent. We happened to do some things for him for ESPN, and he was between coaching jobs at that point, and just working as a broadcaster. And he basically hired me to help him move out of a hotel into a condominium that he bought on the east side of Milwaukee. So we spent probably the next 4 or 5 months together. And again, one of the fun parts about writing this book was that, I didn't want to just recap a season. Anybody can look up box scores and tell you what happened.
Right.
But I wanted to get into kind of the nitty gritty of, what actually happened, why was it unique, what were the kind of the crazy things that happened with players or teams or coaches that you'd never know if you were sitting at home watching this, these things on TV. And the same was true for Majerus. It's like there's so many good stories involving him. One of my favorites was that he sent me out one day to go to a sausage company, and he told me he was hosting this huge event. And so he needed to buy 89 pounds of bratwurst for the event. So I show up, and I'm just loading this stuff into my car and thinking the whole time that there's no way this is for an event. I mean, this was literally going into this guy's freezer, and this is going to be consumed by one individual probably over the next couple months. So there's just so many situations like that. He sent me to a hardware store one time to buy a garden hose, even though he had about a 4 by 4 foot patch of grass at his townhouse. And so, but he wanted the lawn watered. So many great things like that. He was an amazing guy, super fun to be around.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with John Willkom. Check him out on Twitter at John Willkom, 2 L's on that. Check out his book, Walk on Warrior, Drive, Discipline, and the Will to Win. So after that, you go on to actually do a little coaching, John. Tell us about how your experiences on the court and working with Marquette helped in your coaching career, and then later in life when you helped to develop camps and different basketball facilities.
Yeah, so I basically coached for the next 10 years at a variety of levels, all the way from third grade through varsity basketball. And it was great. It was great to take what I had learned at Marquette, to take kind of a hard-nosed style that Tom Crean had implemented, just to compare it to all the other coaching styles that I experienced as a player, my time with Majerus, basically all of that, and just put it kind of into your own system and style. So that was a ton of fun, and along the way, I just met so many different people, and I was fortunate to move around. I coached in California, I coached in the state of Utah, coached in downtown Chicago. So met so many different types of kids, different personalities. And at the end of the day, coaching is about people, it's about players, and just having those types of relationships. We were fortunate to win a bunch of games, but I still keep in touch with a lot of these kids who make me feel old now when they graduated high school or college. And, it seems like yesterday we were shooting layups in the gym.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the book, John. What was really your main motivation for writing the book? What were you hoping to impart on other people?
I think the number one thing, and I get asked this a lot, but I didn't want to push like any big themes across to people. And I don't go into this book and to tell a story and then tell you what you should learn from it. It's not that type of book. What it was just to give a raw and authentic viewpoint of what it's like to play college basketball, what it takes, the people you meet. One aspect could be super difficult, and anytime you play at an elite level, there's, elite responsibilities that come with that, whether it's in the film room or strength conditioning sessions, even doing rehab. It's just such a commitment. It's literally you're getting up at 5 a.m. and you're probably doing something basketball related till 9 or 10 at night. But I wrote this book for parents and kids and anybody that had kind of the same dream that I did to, maybe have not the best odds of playing at a Division I level, but, they want to know what it's like and they want to know if it's possible, and it's certainly possible. And I just think that this gives, a much less canned look at what it's actually like, and hopefully motivates people to want to do some of the same things.
So I'm sure writing the book brought back some fond memories for you, maybe some pain too. Talk about the grind that is the writing process, getting this whole thing together.
Yeah, it's crazy. I work a regular job in sales. This was a side project that I basically just kind of put out there. And at first I wanted to write a book simply just to give it to my kids. I had no intention of making this into into an actual book or putting it out there for the public. But really the last couple of years I buckled down and I thought, there are a lot of people that could benefit from something like this. I'd even thought about myself in, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and, wouldn't it have been great to read something like this, if I had that type of a dream. So I wanted to put it out there and just share my experience. And, I think a lot of people can relate to this. And certainly, the book's been out for 32 weeks on Amazon. Out of those 32 weeks, it's been a bestseller in the basketball category for 30 of them.
Wow!
So I think it's really hit a tone with people in the right way. And at the end of the day, again, it wasn't about selling books, but it was about just telling an authentic story. And I really enjoyed some of the feedback I've gotten from people as they've read it and kind of even shared their own basketball journeys or challenges they've been able to overcome after reading the book. That's
awesome. So what advice would you give to young people who kind of want to achieve greatness? You talked about, kids in middle school having a chance to read this book. What advice would you give them?
I think one of the big ones is, and Tom Crean used to tell me this all the time, but he'd always just say that fear either motivates you or it paralyzes you. And, to be able to take situations where you're afraid of potentially losing or not being good enough, or if I don't perform well in this drill, I've got to run a bunch of sprints after. If you can mentally like push past that stuff and just use it as motivation, you're just going to be so much better off. And I would say the second thing is just I think a lot of people, and I'm like this too even today, we're always trying to gain more skills and be more skilled at whatever we do. But at a certain point, you get to a point where you just need to exercise what you have. And you have to be able to recognize like what your strengths and weaknesses are, and just either play that way or perform that way in a daily job. And so I think so many people never think that they're at a point where they can actually be great at something. And so often it's not true. It's just if you're a great shooter, then shoot the ball and
Right.
recognize what a good shot is and when to shoot and play within a team concept. But I find people focusing, too often on their weaknesses and not enough on their strengths.
The book is Walk On Warrior, Drive, Discipline, and the Will to Win. John, where can the good people find your book?
The book's available on Amazon.com. It's also on Barnes & Noble as well. And, I would just say to any parents or kids out there that have an interest in basketball or just want to know what it's like playing college sports at that level, I think they'd really enjoy it.
That's awesome, my man. Thanks for spending some time with us. We're looking forward to the book and our listeners getting out there and reading it.
Great to be with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, John.
All right, John, Willkom. Great stuff.
It's tear gas the years we've blown out now.
0 for 2 on the applause there. Whoops.
Oh, that's all right, guys. Great interview. Check out John's book. A lot of great stories in there, too. We didn't get into some of the stories he shares, too, as well. But very cool stuff. Very cool stuff.
He sounds like he had a very interesting experience with his coaches. That was I did not see that coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get out of here, guys. Are you ready to fringe binge it?
Oh, yeah. Michael, are you ready to fringe binge? I'm so ready. I didn't turn your mic on. In 3, 2,
He's not
1,
ready.
let's fringe binge.
That was great.
What was great?
There was like all
John?
three of us. John was great as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
but all three of us like said something kind of creepy at the same time.
Oh, did
and
we?
It just felt really right.
Chemistry 100%.
You're ignorant, Mike. Go ahead, brother.
Oh,
what do we
man.
got? What do we got this
All right.
week?
What are we
man?
fringe binging?
Let's quickly hit the NHL playoffs. All right. Ohio's own Columbus Blue Jackets. They're up 2-1 against the Boston Bruins. Game 3, Boone Jenner and Matt Duchene had goals in the first and the second period, respectively.
Nice.
And then they just held on. Bobrovsky. I love that name because I struggle with it, but it's a
Bob?
great name. Bob Bobrovsky. Oh, I literally thought it was at one point. I did think it was. That was his full name.
Oh,
Bob
people love
Bobrovsky.
Bob.
But yeah, they were chanting his name last game. It's a big deal.
He's a
But yeah,
household name in Columbus.
Yeah,
I like
he
that.
you know what I like what the Blue Jackets did? They signed him, or they didn't. He's unrestricted, and they didn't trade him at before the deadline or anything like that. They
Nice,
actually
nice.
bought in, and
Interesting.
now they're paying off for their fans and everything like that.
There you
So they're
go.
up
Kind
two-
of. What do you think? The Cinderella of the NHL playoffs?
1 seed upsetting an 8 seed. It's
Got to.
yeah, and they're up on
Oh,
the
yeah.
on the Bruins. So up 2-1. They'll be in Boston for the next game. Game 4 Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern at Nationwide Arena at home. Actually, I'm sorry, I had said that the wrong way. And then we have the San Jose Sharks against the Colorado Avalanche. San Jose center Gustav Nyquist had a couple of special deliveries this week,
Great name.
right?
Gustav
Oh,
Nyquist.
it's not the names we're always used to. I love it. It just has such a nice ring to it. Anyways, his wife actually on Monday gave birth to their first child. Then he rejoined the team Tuesday, insisted on Logan Couture in recording his first playoff hat trick. So he did pretty well with his deliveries.
Best week ever.
Yeah, not too shabby. So they're up 2-1, and they over the Avalanche, and they're going to game 4 is also Thursday night, 10 o'clock Eastern time at the Pepsi Center in Denver.
Nice.
St. Louis Blues are up 2-1 on the Dallas Stars. And they're
Okay.
actually heading to Dallas. The Blues are actually hoping to keep their streak of wins going for
It's a good
road
idea.
games.
Yeah, you might want to
okay.
They
do
have
that.
not lost on the road yet.
Nice.
So they're doing well, taking it to Dallas. If they get up 3-1, it's pretty much must win.
over, man.
Yeah, it's pretty much over. Carolina Hurricanes, again, must-win situation for the New York Islanders. They're down 2-0. Game 3 is playing tonight, actually, in Carolina. The Islanders just have to win. The Hurricanes have dominated so far, and if they don't pull it off tonight, it's just good as over. Even
Is
though
that a win or go home?
That is not a win or go home, but it's essentially
Close
for them.
to it.
Yeah, as close as it gets without it. And then to transition a little bit here, our boy Jeopardy James Holzhauer.
Oh, you did. You said transition.
I heard
I did.
transition.
Yeah,
He just
that's
immediately
fair.
presses it. I like it. He is actually at 20 wins in a row. He has now eclipsed 1.5 million in winnings.
Oh my
He's
God.
averaging over 75,000 per episode. However, on Monday he only won by $18.
Wow.
So was
yeah,
that
yeah.
by design by him, or was that, like he's
Conspiracy.
so confident that he's like, oh, I'm just going to do $18.
So if he knows he's like, so what Alex Trebek calls a runaway,
Yeah.
if he knows he's in that situation, he will actually bet as much as he can without knowing he's going to lose. That's how he's racking up these scores so much. So it very
Yeah.
well could have been. Yeah.
Great Bon Jovi song too.
Yeah.
Runaway.
Oh, I love Bon Jovi.
Great piano
believe
turn out.
We're ready for next week. Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
That
So
was it for the Fringe Bench.
you mentioned James.
Good
We tried
Fringe Bench,
to
Michael.
lobby him to get in, but unfortunately he's a little busy right now. But he did send us a polite note.
Yeah, you talked to him.
Yeah, nice
today.
guy.
Yeah.
I think
Nice
he has
guy.
an agent already.
Did you ask him a Jeopardy question?
I should. Well, he'd answer it right. It doesn't matter. I should ask him something very show specific.
You should. I
be
think
like,
you should have sent him a note in Jeopardy form, asking if he wanted to be on.
That's fair. He probably would have said yes. Anyway, so next week, guys, we've got NBA playoffs. We're lobbying for a few guests to talk playoffs. We'll do, of course, our hell no, hell yeah 2-minute drill. And as always, we might have some very interesting guests. So make sure you tune in, retweet, like the show, follow us on Twitter. Get the word out, man.
That's right. Fantastic show. Let's get out of here. We will see you guys next Wednesday, 8:30, regularly scheduled time. Thanks for tuning into the Big Play Podcast. Thanks to both of our guests, Marc Bulger and Buck Willkom. We'll see you later.
I'm still laughing at the fact that Jared Allen thought they could be in the Olympics in badminton. Have you seen Olympic badminton?
It's
It's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
Like the speed
Would they
at
be the
which
largest team?
Oh,
by
by
far.
far. They'd win by motivation. Even
How
the
fun would that be
Russians
to
would be like, you
watch?
guys win, America #1. They just step out.
What
No
a! I don't even remember exactly who he said on that team, but he was just
Keith
listing
Bullock was
names
one of
and
them.
names and names, star-studded names.
Yeah.
Keith Bullock is like sick. Wasn't
Keith
he like
Bullock,
a 6'4"
yeah.
run-stopping linebacker? Like,
Big guy.
We got to see if he has any videos that we could share.
I
Oh,
think
there's
they're
got
out
to
there.
be something online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a big thing on Jared Allen doing it. I didn't know
I saw that,
Bulger was
yeah.
with it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
that's really
just
cool.
fantastic.
It's really cool. Do we do impression session here, Dave?
Oh, that's what it is.
Should we do that?
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
think we should.
In the meantime, is there anyone in the call room? Do we want to check?
There's not.
There is not. Oh, okay.
I am going to set up the wheel.
Okay.
You and Mike talks amongst yourself. If you want to talk lizard people or phone booth, I'm good with either one.
Let's just
Okay.
talk. What about Lobster movie?
first
All right,
off,
Google this. Did you
Yeah.
Google this, Mike?
I'm pulling it up now.
Okay.
Okay, please do.
I feel like you're making this up.
I'm not making this up.
I feel like you're making it up.
I'm going straight to Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's go to Wikipedia because that's always right. Okay.
My
you should
trusted
see mine.
source.
It says, The Lobster is a 2015 black comedy film directed, co-written, and co-produced by Jorgos Lanthimos. Wow, I shouldn't have started there. But
It's a
anyways.
black
And
comedy?
the film, black is in dark.
Oh.
Like it's, they
I was gonna say,
described it.
Colin
Why don't you just say
Farrell.
dark?
Well, that's how they describe it. I'm reading it.
All right.
In the film setting, single people are given 45 days to find a romantic partner or otherwise are turned into animals. It stars Colin Farrell as a newly single man trying to find someone so he can remain human, and Rachel Weisz as a woman for whom he attempts to form a new relationship. The film is it's produced in Ireland, UK, France, Greece, and the Netherlands. So yeah, told you, man.
Wow.
Got an 87% by like the Rotten Tomatoes, like
How much?
that's
87?
64% from the audience.
That's actually
still
pretty good.
Certified fresh, son.
It's called Lobster?
Yeah,
Just The Lobster.
Have you
I
seen
think.
it?
I have seen it.
Pretty good?
I mean,
64%?
my thing is like if I start a movie, I watch the whole thing, even if it's crap. Like I saw
can't stop,
Geely, Beautician and the Beast. I sat through that. Anything starring Shaq, sat through that. You name it,
All
good
right.
or bad.
Phone booth over under 87.
Oh, are you kidding? Under 13.
No doubt under.
I'll go 33.
Who's got a 72?
No, it didn't.
Yeah. Quick pacing and Farrell's performance help make Phone Booth a tense.
If you're a
nail-biter.
screenwriter, like, I'm going to make this movie where this guy's in a phone booth. He can't leave the phone booth the entire movie. Yeah.
I mean, at least your cost for like making the film is cheap.
Yeah,
That's
phone
true.
booth.
Like, hey, all right, we got a phone booth. That's 80% of the scenes.
Well, but that's BS because when you do your location and scouting, you got to try to find a phone booth. Good luck there, man. We
That's
had
true.
to our hometowns.
Phone booth
Dude,
was made in 2003.
back home though, Mike. We had
Yeah.
a phone booth until at least 5 years ago in Amsterdam. No doubt,
Really?
there's a phone booth. Yep, right at the
Okay.
corner of the main drag, as we called it.
Okay.
Big phone booth. Yeah.
It made almost 47 million at the box office.
Oh, phone booth.
Phone booth was a big deal.
That's a lot of quarters.
That's true. Ew.
Yeah, nothing about that appeals to me. I'm just gonna
Got him!
we're waiting all show for that.
Yeah, I wonder when
Yeah.
you're going to use
All
that
right,
one.
let's see. I put some
New
notes
soundboard.
here.
It's having some
Try
trouble.
out the new ones.
All right,
Let's
so
hear a
we've hit
couple new
Phone
ones.
Booth, Lobster, and Colin Farrell. What about
Yeah.
Lizard People,
Yeah.
the Mannings, and Daniel Jones? What?
All the same. Yep.
You
So
think-
if Daniel Jones, if he's kind of like little wider gap, I feel like he'd be a Manning. No doubt.
Wow.
No doubt.
I'm searching, are the Mannings lizard people? And let's
Like-
see what comes up.
At the 4th of July picnic, Cooper's going to see this guy and be like, "Really? Like they took him? What's going on here?" I just don't get it. I
no.
mean, he went to that camp. He goes to the Manning camp. He's
Right.
a counselor. Come on.
That's
Come
like,
on.
dude,
Where's Maury Povich
so
when
he's,
you need him?
if he's going,
Very true.
if he's going in the first or second round
Yeah.
in the NFL draft, at one point he is considered an elite quarterback, whether it's a prospect,
True.
NFL scouts. That's just kind of normal
I guess.
for those athletes to go to those types of things. But you're saying that's the reason he is a Manning
'cause he's a-
or
yeah.
a lizard person?
He's Eli.
Very
He's basically
interesting.
Eli.
All right,
Are
Jay,
we ready?
I have the wheel all set up for you.
All right,
So
let's
if
do
you
it.
did not tune in last week, this is our second wheel from wheeldecide.com.
Yeah,
Free
yeah.
plug to wheeldecide.com. They don't need it. They've got advertising on this site here.
It looks like something you'd see on MySpace, right?
Oh, yeah, I think it is straight from MySpace. So we have all of Jay's impressions on here.
Okay.
Okay. And then I always put 3 new scenarios.
Okay.
Okay. So do you want me to give you the scenarios
Should we
first?
do repeats? So we did Macho and Mel Kiper last week.
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
let's see what happens. It actually worked out really well last week because the chances of it going person scenario are very low.
That's
Like,
true.
This is not an exact science.
That's
so
true.
we'll see what happens.
We have the final decision.
Correct.
Jay does not.
Oh, correct.
Okay.
That's very true. All right, let's spin the wheel.
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
What's that song?
Okay, we have Doris Burke.
Oh, very good.
One of
thank
me
you,
and
David.
Mike's
Goosebumps.
favorites.
I love Doris
Thank
What
you,
a-
David. Thank you. LeBron, are you going to be in the
No,
wheel
wait
room
for
here?
it. Wait for it.
Okay, I'm just getting warmed up.
Okay,
Thank
warmed
you.
up. That's good.
Warm
Oh,
those
here we go.
vocal cords. Oh, come on.
Oh, all right.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, we have Doris Burke and Stone Cold. What are they going to be talking about here?
What is the scenario?
All right, Stone Cold still.
Okay.
This could take a while.
Decka.
All right, Stone Cold and Doris Burke debating the best Manning.
Oh, okay.
This
All
is
right.
great.
All right. Well,
Hold on, let me get the wheel off here for a second.
let's just pretend that they're at a game, right?
That's
Let's
fine.
say
Oh, yeah.
scenarios. They're game 3. Warriors.
Doris Burke
Warriors
ran into
Rockets.
Stone Cold at the
Right,
NBA
he's
playoffs.
he's courtside. He's courtside with every tech person you could think of. All right. All right, we're live here courtside with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Steve, how are you doing today? What? Oh, Steve, I said, how are you doing today? What? Okay, well, let's just move on here. So, Steve, it's come under high debate here recently. Daniel Jones was taken a number 6 pick overall by the New York Giants. A lot of people, including a guy named Big Play Jay on the Big Play podcast, think he's actually a Manning. What are your thoughts? What? Let me ask you one more time. So, I'm sorry, we're having some technical difficulties here, guys. Stone Cold, what do you think about Daniel Jones? What? Okay, we're just going to move on. So, overall, Stone Cold, who do you think's the best Manning? Is it Archie? Is it Eli? Is it Peyton? What do you think? What? Okay, back to you guys in the booth. Sorry about that, guys. He just doesn't understand.
I like it. That was solid.
Oh, thank you.
That was solid stuff.
Is that kayfabe right there?
We want to welcome to the chat room the hateful BFF.
Wow.
Wow. If that's your BFF, man, they don't like you.
No,
Yeah.
not so much.
That's fair. Yeah. So.
The hateful 8FF.
You want to do
Oh,
what?
that's 8? I'm sorry, man. Thanks for joining.
Oh, well, what could you do?
Well, but if there is someone named that, you shouldn't. What were you saying, my friend?
do we want to do one more or no?
One more what?
Impression. That was so good.
Okay, we could do one more.
You wanna
Let's
go one
switch it
more?
up, though. Yeah.
All right, yeah,
Let's
we'll switch it up. We'll put the wheel back up.
I like that use of what?
Oh, that's not it.
What?
Even
I have more impressions than what's on that wheel. I think
Okay,
you
we can
just,
update it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. One more. Here we go.
I mean, not that I'm bragging.
Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna retweet it out. I want the people to see this. This is
Oh,
good.
God.
Too much pressure?
Here we go. No,
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 okay.
not at all.
You're born for this.
I was. Maybe it's Maybelline. Now the call screener's on there.
No, it's gone.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we are spinning one more time. Oh wait, no Doris Burke. Already did Doris Burke.
Oh, but why not?
I love Doris Burke.
Oh, thank you, Michael.
Okay, so the first person, the scenario came up first, trying to figure out if they are a lizard person.
Oh,
So
wow.
the first person is trying to figure out
If the second
if
one is?
person B is a lizard
Well,
person.
the answer is yes. Spoiler. Okay.
Well, you don't know who it's going to be yet.
That's fair. Thank you.
Okay, Stone Cold, we already did. Doris Burke and Stone Cold getting a lot of love on this
Wow,
wheel.
Wow. I like the wheel looks like a beach ball, by the way.
Oh, still Doris Burke.
Wow.
Why
there's
is
gotta be
Doris
a
the only one in
magnet.
red?
I don't know. Just keep on spinning the damn thing.
Going to Doris Burke. Wheeldecide.com. What are you doing to
telling
us?
us? Maybe.
I think you do
Why don't you just choose, Mike?
Bill Walton.
No, that one sucks. We're not doing
That one
Bill Walton.
sucks. Doris Burke.
All right.
This is like a one
just pick two.
like a Vegas wheel.
Can you do Burke and Barkley? Is that okay?
Hold
already
on.
did
hold
Burke.
on.
You want to do a different one? What
All right, we got
Barkley?
Mel Kiper.
Okay, well,
Almost.
big week for me. It's calmed down a little bit here.
We'll go Mel Kiper
Okay.
and
Just keep it spinning.
Yoda.
Yoda.
Okay.
I think Yoda should be trying to figure out if Mel Kiper's a lizard person.
Very true. Mel Kiper does look like a lizard
He
person.
would be the guy that I would guess is.
The
Right,
eyes,
okay.
dead giveaway.
And occasionally he wears those glasses that are really tinted.
That's fair. That's fair. Those are just transition lenses, dude.
All right, you
Don't
got
be
a
weird.
lot of people watching here.
I do? Okay, so here we go.
All right, so the scenario is Yoda from
Okay.
Star Wars
Yes.
is trying to figure out if who is the second person?
Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper is a lizard person.
Okay.
Ooh, Mel, ask you a few questions, I will. Find out if you're a lizard person, I will.
Hey, Yoda, how you doing today? So you didn't get picked in the draft. That's okay. Aging Jedi, still a great, great master.
Thank you, Mel. Mel, come closer. Let's look at those eyes. They're a little slanted. You're a powerful man. You're the top draft source for the last 30 years. Lizard person you are.
I don't know what a lizard person is. I tell you what, they're not on my big board. Not in the first 7 rounds. At least not. Maybe the Giants would pick them if they were on the big board, but I didn't see any lizard people there, man.
Lizard person you are. Feel the force, Mel.
I feel
It's too good.
I don't know, like, what's your thought process to come up?
There really is. You just kind of empty everything, right?
I mean, there is no heads up on this, obviously,
No, you
as I
just gotta-
built the scenarios and wheel.
Yeah.
That was good.
Thanks.
That was fantastic.
Thank you, Dave.
I think playmakers need to send us what they want to hear. If
Yeah.
if anybody
Okay,
has a
I like
specific
that.
pick,
And they get, yeah. I mean, I could try.
We'll get in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
next week.
Okay.
Next week, we got a
That's fair.
kind of a light week next week.
Yeah.
So,
right.
yeah, we might have time for a little
Very
bit more
light.
of that.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
All right, I am spent. We went over.
We did.
Shout out to Big Play intern Alec for running our call board, getting to talk with one of the great NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Alec, we appreciate it, brother.
thanks, Alec.
Young Jedi apprentice is he?
Wow. Alec, can you do any impressions?
He can do an impression of
Can we bring
a
him in?
big
He
play
might have fallen
fanatic.
asleep.
Probably. I wouldn't blame him.
He said Alec is very tired and wants to take a nap.
Oh, he's in college, dude. He's gonna get ready and go out.
I was gonna say he's napping to go out, right?
And isn't it? It's 6:49, 7:40, 6:49 where he's at.
All right, he's awake. He says he's awake. Alec,
Okay.
what's up, buddy?
Hey guys, what's up, internet?
There he is.
You're a little quiet there.
You're asking if I can
going
do
on,
some
man?
impressions?
Yeah, do you have any impressions that you want to show off?
I kind of have an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh wow! School him, Dave. Let's hear it.
What, really? All right, me and you will have a conversation as Arnold.
Yeah.
We're both Arnold. I'm Arnold. How are you?
Now you are fake Arnold. I am real Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Get to the chopper. I'm going to order us a pizza. I want to give you the pepperoni pizza with the broccoli.
Don't eat the cookie now.
Get to the chopper. I'm a police officer. I'm Detective John Kimball.
Dude, his poor line's so bad. He could be him.
His line's fantastic.
I know.
Yeah. All right, Alec. Good stuff. We'll let you go to bed now that it's 6:30 at night. Poor college kid.
Yeah.
What do you have to do? Wake up at 10?
He's got a big guy. Hey, listen. Breakfast ends at 10:30, guys. Come on.
Like 7:30 this morning.
There you go. Good for you. You're much more motivated than we were when we were in college. Thanks, buddy. Your connection's bad. We can barely hear you, but we will let you go, and we will talk to you soon.
Right.
All right. A little quiet there. All right. I think I'm spent.
Yeah, me too.
Mike?
Yep.
Good. All right. We'll
Solid.
see you guys
Spent you are.
next Wednesday at 8:30.
Oh, spent you are too there, David.
See you guys.